was terrifying.
And you got a gang of kids too.
Yeah, I have 3 kids, 13, 8, and 3. And so I was just like, I was really almost ready to go back to a factory or go back to painting cars, something. I had to figure something out.
Welcome to the PainterGrowth podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Mike Gorhakeman here, rocking on a new microphone. Hopefully it sounds good. Oh, is it? You can hear me? It's working good? Okay, cool. Doing another episode of the PainterGrowth podcast. In this special PainterGrowth story, we have a client and my friend Logan coming out of Indiana. So what's up, man? Good to have you.
Not much, just trying to keep up, that's all.
Just trying to keep up. That's a good thing. So You've been working with us for how many months now?
2 months.
2 months. All right.
Yeah.
So let's just, before we get there, tell me about your business before you found PainterGrowth, before you started working with us. What was that like?
Well, for probably 7, 8 years, I worked part-time at it, and always wanted to go full-time, but was never brave enough to do it. And then last year I took the leap out on my own, and it was just me, and I'd hire a helper here and there when I could. I struggled, I made ends meet, but that was all I made. So I think last year we did like 49 altogether. And, it was
49,000.
Yeah. 49,000. Yeah. And so it was okay. It was a struggle. I had no idea how to market. So that was a huge problem. I had no idea, no systems, and it was just me, and I couldn't figure out how to get from job to job. I'd sell 2 jobs, I'd do 2 jobs. And then I'm like, oh no, what now? So then I'm back to scrambling. I would say like 90% of it I was on my own.
So you did 50K last year in 2023.
Yeah.
And that was like full time, right? That was going full time.
Yeah.
So how did that feel, like throwing up, like basically jumping in full time and not getting it to work? Like how was that going?
Terrifying. I went from I had a good factory job making almost 100K a year, and I was like, oh man, what the heck what happened? Because I had other painters. I had a couple mentors that were, $1 million companies. And I was just like, but they're old school work, we don't advertise. It's all just word of mouth. And so they couldn't really help me on how to get new jobs, how to get new clients. I could go work for them hourly, and I did that quite a bit. But it was just, it was terrifying.
And you got a gang of kids too.
Yeah. I have 3 kids, 13, 8, and 3. And so I was just like, I was really almost ready to go back to a factory or go back to painting cars, something. I had to figure something out.
So fast forward a little bit, you see one of my ads on Facebook, or how do you find out about me?
Facebook. Yeah. Yep. So it was probably September or October of last year. I sat down, did the call with one of your guys, and it was just, even then I was scared, like, is this real? I barely have any money. I made 49K for the year. So, the investment, I was like, man, I don't know if I can swing it. And it sounded good, but I was just too apprehensive and scared. And so then in December, I seen another ad, or actually, no, your what is his name? I can't remember his name, but he reached back out to me, and I was like, I just sold a house. And I was just like, well, if I'm going to make an investment in this thing, like, this is it. And so we went with it, and it's been crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the point in your business where you're like, enough is enough, like something has to change, I need to do something, I just can't keep going on like this? Like, what was that thing that happened that triggered that?
Probably Christmas. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do anything for my kids, or I'm going to go back to a factory. And I hated being in that factory for 10 years. And I was just being demoralized, being defeated. I felt completely defeated. And I was just like, either I'm going to go all in or I'm going back to a factory.
So this was your Hail Mary.
This was it. Yeah. If this didn't work, I was going back to painting RVs.
Yeah. How did that feel when you were, talking to one of my guys on the phone, and you're like, man, I'm looking at this huge investment and I'm doing it? Like, how did that feel when you're like actively like handing over your credit card, you're like, this has to work.
Terrifying, but exhilarating. Like I've always been like a risk taker, and so I was excited. And when on the call, whenever I was laying out my goals, I was like, if I could make 100, and he's like, oh man, what are you thinking? He's like, you need to be thinking like 600. I was like, I love the way you're thinking. Like, let's just, and I, whenever I talked to him, I said, I'll follow the plan. I'll do everything you say. And then money back guarantee was a huge thing where I was like, all right, so if I follow this plan, it's on them. It's on them. And he's like, well, you follow the plan and then tell me how it goes. And so it was exciting. I couldn't wait to get started. And then when I opened up the modules, and I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to get through all this? But, like, I'm not going to lie, that part was scary to me too.
So tell me about your first couple of weeks. What was onboarding like, and kind of what did you go through over the first 2 weeks?
So the onboarding was exciting, like getting into the Slack community, and there was quite a few guys that joined the same time as I did. And so like seeing them ask questions that I wanted to ask or hadn't even thought to ask, but needed to know the same information on was really helpful. Seeing how like the community all came together and like they helped me with how to advertise. I was super excited. And as soon as I started implementing just the small things and just taking the steps, it was just, my business took off like I didn't even imagine it could. So and then once it took off, I was just selling, boom, 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 boom. And it was insane.
So right now it's end of February. You've been in for just under 2 months, right? Yeah. How much have you booked in this? Actually, I'm going to get the exact day. So, because I got my CRM here. So December 5th. So you're 2 months and 2 weeks, pretty much exactly.
What about, let's see, I got it written down. $75,571.
75 G's in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is more than you produced all year last year.
All year, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we can get into more details of that whenever. It's so exciting, man. Like this has changed my family. And honestly, I follow the program the best I can, and I followed your steps, and the community has been helpful. But and I know that there's still tons more potential out there. Like we haven't even tapped into Facebook. I tried it; it wasn't working the best for me, so I stuck to what I knew. Just creating commercial partners. Just walking into businesses with my my pamphlets, my flyers. Hey, this is who I am. How can I add value to your company? Let's work. And I just landed a new builder. I just sold them on. They have 36 houses that they're building this year, and I'm now their exclusive painter. I got in with the national property manager. They sent me, it was like $1.4 million of quotes I sent back to them. It was like 56 properties all over Indiana, and they emailed me back and was like, hey, since this is our first year working with you, we're only giving you 2 projects. So it's over 30K. But they're like, we liked your numbers on a lot of them. So they're like, if you produce next year, expect to be a lot busier. So, that's exciting. I never would have even thought to go into some of these.
And even 30K is like, it's a huge bump.
That's what was damn near my year last year.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking about this because I'm married. I have kids. And I remember when I first invested in my first online training program, it was like a big decision with me and my wife, right? Because like I was working as an employee and I'm like, money is not easy to come by, right? And so it was like a group discussion. What was your wife's mindset around this type of investment and your foray into this?
I have the best wife in the world. So she's the one that pushed me to this. She's the one that was like, you need to get out of the factory and go do this. Like you can do this. And so she was just like, honestly, it was her credit card. She was like, take my card, but like make this happen, do this, Mm-hmm. And so now she's working at the RV factory where I was and, making almost 100K. And we're looking at, her quitting this year to come on board and do the estimates and start being more involved in the business. Cause it's a lot. And that's my struggle is finding people, but she's the most supportive. She's like, just go, dinner's in the microwave for you when you come home. So I have the best support you could,
Yeah. Having a supportive spouse is so important.
Yeah. I couldn't do it, cause some days I come home like beat up, like, man, I knocked 500 doors and didn't get anything. She's like, good thing there's more doors tomorrow. And so it's, she comes out with me, and the days whenever I'm down, she's like, well, how about I come with you and let's knock these doors together, or she'll help me come up with, she helps me find realtors, or new builders, and gives me a project list. Hey, let's take care of these. So it's a good team over here.
No kidding. Yeah. So going from a side hustle to potentially employing you and your wife full time.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to finish production in February here in your second month?
To finish production, man, you got me on that one.
Okay, no worries. Not a huge deal.
So it'll be, I'll probably finish around 25 for this month.
Wicked, half your year last year.
Yeah, is what I think I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now looking forward, man. Like obviously you're excited about the future of your business, but like where do you feel like you can bring this thing now?
So originally my goal was 350. Once I talked to you guys and I was like, man, if I could do 350, now I want to do at least 500 for the year. I want to do at least 500 G gross revenue. I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm anticipating having to move my number again. With spring's not even here. Like, this is a dead season. I have one of the guys who taught me how to paint. He's got an 11-man crew. They're not working now. I got his guys working for me. Mm-hmm. So, and this is the dead season. So once spring kicks, we're working on spring flyers right now, new cabinet flyers, power wash. I'm anticipating an insane summer. So yeah, at 500 is like the low end of the goal this year, right now.
And how do you feel about the future of your business and just your future of your family now?
Beyond excited, like relieved, excited, safe. Man, the future of the bit, I got big plans. Like I want to like franchise it. If I could put one in Indianapolis and then another one in Tennessee where we have family, and I know the market's strong. I don't see why I can't do it in 5 years. We're just going to shoot for it, and we're just going to keep running. I think it's just an extremely realistic goal for me in the business, the way that we're growing. Yeah, we feel excited, comfortable. At first it was terrifying, like, oh my God, I need a backup plan. But once I got in the mindset of there is no plan B, plan B is to do plan A harder. So now that there's no option but to grow.
It's wild how your life can change in less than 2 months.
It's insane. We went and got a new truck yesterday, and it was just like, man, I didn't think this would happen. I was like, maybe what we talked was it last week, and I was like, maybe in 2 years, and you're like, what are you thinking, man? Maybe in like 6 months, like get real, man, like push these goals. And so it's so true.
What would you say to someone who was in your situation, who's on the fence, who's like potentially desperate, they like have to make this painting business work, and they're just gutted with like the cost of investing into a program like this? Like, what would you say to someone like that?
Figure out a way. And for me, it was using my wife's credit card, figuring out. And then once I sold the house, with permission. Yeah. I mean, married, you need it, but I was able to sell the house. And so, but I would say just do it, but you better be fully invested. You have to fully invest in this thing. And that's what I told her. I said, listen, like, I'm going to do this. It might be 10 o'clock nights for me. I might, I don't, no matter what it takes, like, I'm going to make this work. And once you guys laid out the game plan, it was like, all I got to do is run the ball now. I just got to grab it and follow this. And it's made my path to success, like, not easy. The path is easy, but there's a lot of stumbling along the way. Like, if I had a team lined up, I could do $1 million this year. That's
simple, not easy.
This team is finding employees. Quality employees is a struggle. I mean, we have 3 good ones right now. Hopefully they have some friends.
I mean, I think you just need a bit of context there. You have 3 good ones. You've been on it for less than 2 months.
Yeah, there you go.
Like it's all about the big picture. Like, if you zoom out far enough and you look at where you're at right now, is there a lack of good employees? Doesn't really seem like it.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I always see, and then sometimes I get in this growth mindset of like, I want 10 right now. If I can sell the work, then I want the guys. But it's just staying humble and just staying where I'm at, being present in the moment.
I call that the entrepreneur's curse.
Yeah.
And you have it, man. I can tell you, it burns inside you.
Yeah, that's all I think about. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my wife should be like, "Can we listen to something besides PainterGrowth? Can we listen to something besides Paint Ed? Like, can we listen to music in the car? What is that doing for the business?" You know, but yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
worst things you could be stuck on.
Well, I love it, man. Your story is inspirational, and I hope that you inspire at least one other person who listens to this, because what you've done is incredible. And you know, the system can only go so far, and we can only lead a horse to water, right? But
Yeah.
it's you did the work, right? So like, you're responsible. We help, but like, it's on you. Like, good work, man. Congratulations.
100%. Yeah, thank you guys for having the system and working with me. I know
Yeah.
you work with me a lot one-on-one, so I appreciate that as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked to see what you're going to accomplish this year, and I know it's going to be big.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll talk to you at the end of the year. We'll do it again. I'll let you know.
Sounds good, Logan. Thanks, man. Appreciate your
Awesome.
time.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.